So this is definitely going to be a different type of video that I usually make. But today I just want to talk about how 2024 has truly been such a crazy year for me, because since then a lot has changed. And today I just kind of want to talk about how I started to love to do things that are good for me. I first asked myself, what are things that I genuinely want to start doing, which I know that in the long term they will help me. I think for every person it will be different, but for me personally, these are the following things. I believe this is something that is absolutely not popular at all. I don't really know a lot of people that genuinely like to do this, but for me, going to sleep early is probably one of the greatest things I have ever started to do. Now, I too for the longest time thought I'm not a morning person, I like to go to sleep late and also wake up late. But once I actually started to wake up early, I realized there is no I'm a morning person or I'm a night person, because realistically seen, it's just a habit that you have. You wake up and everything still feels calm. It feels like you have this extra 1, 2, even 3 hours more of the day, even though in theory you don't, because you just go to sleep earlier. In those mornings, because everything is still kind of asleep and there's no distractions, it's just so easy to be really productive and get a lot of things done. Sleeping, for me, probably one of the greatest things I started to do, and I absolutely love it. A second thing that I started to do that is good for me and I absolutely love it is doing sport every day. I kind of started to do it more for the Apple rings, and I had this goal every day, fill out my rings. So I wouldn't do sport because I actually enjoy doing it, but because more I wanted to fill out the rings, And after a while I realized, of course it's good because I was actually doing sport, but I didn't do it because I enjoyed it. But at one point it just kind of clicked and I started to do sport because I just absolutely love doing sport. Whenever I feel kind of stressed, whenever I feel kind of overwhelmed, I don't know what to do anymore, I can go and do sport, and after that I just feel new. It feels like my head was cleared and I can start fresh again. Now, this is very combined with doing sport, but another thing that I started to love to do is eating healthy. Something that I started to do is preparing overnight oats, which will fill me for a long period of time, for at least lunch before I have my next meal. In general, eating healthy just is something really important because what you eat will impact how you feel overall. And that is why eating healthy has become something so important to do, because whenever I eat healthy, I just feel so good. I feel energized for the day. I know I can continue working for a long period of time, even in the afternoon, without feeling tired and unmotivated. Now, the next point that I started to do that is good for me, and I never thought I would come to say I like, but that is reading. Reading has become such an important part, and it's actually something so unbelievably powerful. I started off reading the classics. This will probably be a very popular book that people love, but genuinely, Atomic Habits has been such a great book. I read it and I just thought to myself, wow, I genuinely would consider rereading it because it's a really good book. Ton of valuable information that I applied because, of course, it's Atomic Habits, starting habits, all these things that I started to do and actually love doing is all just habits. A lot of things that I started to apply and start doing it is because of that book, and that is why reading became such an important part in my life and something that I just love doing. Now, of course, how do you really make yourself love to do things that are good for you? Something that really helped me actually start doing these things is to actually identify as someone who does that. You have to just be the person who does these things, and only like that will you truly be able to make these habits into something that aren't just habits that you do, but something that is just part of you, that is just you. Now, you might think, why start doing these things? Something that you have to understand is that you don't do it for now. You do it for your future self. When you look back in 1 year, in 2 years, and you think to yourself, damn, am I glad that I started to do these things? Because unlike the quick dopamine hits you get, things that are truly good for you and you see progress take time. What I have noticed is the longer you do them and you actually do them consistently, the more they pay out. Now, Something that definitely can help is to track your habits. There are hundreds, and I mean truly hundreds of apps that you can use to track your habits. The ground principle of each app is usually the same. You define things that you want to do, and then you start doing them. And usually you will go on the app and say, okay, did I do sport today? Yes, check that off. And if you do it all, boom, 100%, and day one streak done. So you do second day, and then after a while, you start just doing it for the streak, and that's wrong. You shouldn't do it for a streak. You should do it because you genuinely enjoy doing it and you know it's something good for you. If you don't manage to do something one day, that's not the end of the world. If you miss it one day, that's a mistake and that's fine. If you start doing it a second day, that's the beginning of a new habit. If you managed to get this far in the video and you actually listened to me talk for this amount of time, I'm not sure how long this video will be at this point, but that's really cool, that's really great. The last thing I'll say is take action. And if you do and start seeing results, you're absolutely gonna love that you started. Thanks for watching.